Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV and to another replay review. It's April 3rd, 2024, and today we're going to examine a replay here from AFF's Chisato, aka Yudi from FAF, and I think this is more of like the macro spot or eco spot on Rosetta. 10 wind speed solar map with a lot of geos around and some starting reclaim. Sure y'all have played on this map before. And I just was watching this as a spectator in this game and noticed a lot of cool things Chisato was doing, so I thought I'd share it with everyone here and maybe re-examine it for my own benefit. So come along for the journey and we'll take a look at this replay together. I mean, it was everything from this really strong reclaim micro of your own buildings at certain points in the game, so his unit composition, how he was stalling, how he was ecoing. I mean, there's just a lot of great things going on in this game, so hopefully, oh, that's cool. So that does show the queue. Yeah, shows shift to space shows the queue for this. So Grave Robber 4 grunts into 5 construction bots, and that makes sense from this spot. I think it's like you want to be making as little amount of units as possible. Get this AGO up as quickly, and of course contest the reclaim. So that's what we'll see Chisato doing, is just playing it safe, getting this reclaim in the middle. Can speed this up a little bit here. Goes into 2 more solar collectors, that's pretty standard, even a 5th one here with this commander. So nice having that extra metals available here, so you can get this 5th solar collector up and really assist that, even going for a 6th one. So gosh, I wish I could turn that off. Sorry about those pings. I wonder, can I turn those off? Can't. Sorry for that. Just a lot of abusive use of that. So yeah, first 2 cons come out, just are assisting the lab. Commander continues to add on solar collectors. I'm gonna move out of the main base. Here, add on some of these mexes. This is all like early game stuff here. Not super interesting, but yeah, it goes back into grunt production here for a moment. 2 more res bots, and then some rocket bots even. Wow. So using those rocket bots here in the early game to kind of pressure these commanders who like to abuse the LLT. Suddenly we have this con on the high ground here, just capping these 2-1 mexes and adding that geo finally. And Chisato grabbing these 3 mexes in the front, and of course like contesting the space out front with the grunts. Nothing really too crazy here. Pretty solid play, to be honest. If I turn this down and the music up, let's try that. Sorry for the pings here. So what is this? The second res bot. First one might have been cleaned up here somewhere in the mid, just going for the reclaim, but we actually have this on repeat. That's interesting. What does this build queue look like? So con, resbot, 5 aggravators or rocket bots into resbots, so pretty cool. Got a lot of E here. Just a single construction bot, adding on this geo. And this nice forward radar going up. Can speed this up just a hair. I think sort of fixing our E at the moment, so this con up here on the hill is gonna add on a solar collector before going into that geo. I think he might even walk his commander back, but yeah, really pressuring the front with these aggravators. He's got those 2 res bots at the front doing their thing. Maybe even getting off some repair micro. Haven't seen that exactly. Oh yeah, so here's the first thing. I'll try my best to call it all the little things I noticed in this game from earlier, but yeah, this construction turret on the low ground here with the build power next to the factory assist this geo coming up. So the first con that came up here, cap the 2 mexes, can eventually get this geo up, and it's assisted by the build power in the air quotes main base, or the low ground main. So we still have the fight going on at the front. There's some res bots there trying to work on this geo. try and note when he pulls his commander back. This is a really great play here. I think the Shocks finally holds him off with this Dragon's Maw and Exploiter in the back. And when does he stop making units, right? So 638, 640. Immediately goes into four energy converters after the Geo. Makes sense. It kind of pays for those for free. Gets a second con turret up, right? As soon as the Geo finishes. It looks like we're done making aggravators and we're moving into grunt production. Still being aggressive on the front. No nanos, no Dragon's Maw, no LLTs really, just a couple here and there. Third con turret even, and then goes into these advanced solar collectors. Right, so what is that, 6 total? Energy storage is going up, 758. So I guess the nice thing here is his teammate delivered a T2 con, or perhaps he picked it up. I think he delivered it. Here's it flying back to its owners here in the bottom right corner. But right around 8 minutes, we start this T2 mech. So you might not end up getting that in your own games, but I think that's the same theory applies. Like around 8 minutes, should have the Geo, right? 4 energy converters done. Start on the advanced solar collector production, and look, these 2 red spots from earlier reclaim all the solars. So still being really efficient. Commander goes down here on the left side. I think that was Chisato's commander. Both commanders end up going down. I want to say he ends up getting gifted a commander from someone at some point in this game, but being pretty efficient here. Look, he's just tapping the mexes with the con. Tap, tap, tap. He's got 1 con turret assisting each of these. Another con going, 2 construction turrets on the high ground, and then waddling his way up to the top to start this AGO. Let's say it goes up around like 945 maybe? 940? Yeah, around 940 here, and look at that, 4 construction turrets assisting that straight away. He already has 3 2-2 mexes finished. Really strong play here. And even elevatoring up these construction turrets to continue assisting the Geo here. Just doing this off of, what was it, 5, a Geo and 5 advanced solars. As soon as the AGO finishes, finishes capping these 2 advanced mexes, adding on more energy converters. Still has that pack of grunts in the back. Let me turn this down a bit. And adding on more build power in the main base. So this is where we start really doing some cool things, juggling back and forth. Getting another bot lab out? I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe he just wants 2 factory production. I think that's the case. Moves into a lot of grunts. I've seen Chisato do this on this map a lot of times, actually. Burying a T2 con to the front here. Is there another one that got delivered, or is that... I think that's the same one. Yeah, he just came down here and capped these mexes, so it looks like he missed assisting this one. With a con turret. Came down here, tapped these 2 mexes, has those being assisted, and then flies it to the front. So just going all over the place, capping these mexes as quick as possible, ferrying a construction turret, centered around these 3 mexes. So we'll see him do that. I guess he'll get that landed at some point. Okay, right, here we are. Sorry I missed this, but we have the T2 lab finishes. He makes like a bunch of grunts, reclaims both of those bot labs, gets his T2 bot lab out, and look at this, goes radar jammer, radar bot into Sheldon production, into 15 Sheldons. Still finishing on capping these T2 mexes, not grabbing any other like T2 structure just yet. Got all these mexes upgrading, 2 mexes upgrading at one time, still trying to abuse the tapping the structure to upgrade it, and then moving on with that T2 con. And the one thing I noticed like over and over again was he just wasn't ever really truly committing to units. And even went so far as to stall, I believe, so like as stalling, right? So this forward construction turret, it's going to give him the build power to get up a lot of cool things. I think he ends up doing like a couple of T2 point defense. See finally the radar and the jammer show up. And here we are, yeah, 12 minutes, 50 seconds. The fusion reactor goes up. Looks like we reclaimed one of these A-Solars. I'm sure he reclaims those again. And yeah, we're actually reclaiming this T2 lab. So just stops T2 unit production after the, radar jammer, the radar bot, and the 15 Sheltons. Reclaims his lab. That's going to let him get this T2, this fusion reactor up more quickly. And truly entering kind of like this mid-game perhaps, and starts doing a lot of cool things here. So fusion reactor finishes, we move into two of these advanced energy converters, start adding on a bunch more con turrets here. What is that, 8? I'm going to add on another 6 here, and like moving farther away from the front line. At the front, we're still finishing capping these mexes, adding on a couple more nanos. I'm not sure what's building those. Yeah, I don't quite see it. It's like this, just something I haven't really picked up or noticed quite yet is just the amount of AA he's made. 17 Thistlers just all spread out. Not in the main base, but kind of shielding him out here. Forward towards his opponents rather. Start this second advanced energy converter and move into a second fusion reactor. Still adding on these construction turrets with this construction aircraft. It's like some bombing run going off in mid. Still no units, right? So he just made the 15 units. I think he's even kind of slightly even on front, maybe getting pressured a little bit. There's a lot of grunts left over here from Shock, so it's forcing Chisato back, and he ends up getting this rattlesnake, right? He tucked back even a little bit behind his most forward mechs, right? So he really wants to get this up to win this hound versus hound battle. Excuse me, Shelton versus Shelton. Cool little fight going on in mid. Still finishes a second fusion reactor, adds on 2 more advanced energy converters here. 14, 50 seconds into the game. And then we see with that T1 air lab, he goes these bot labs for tick production and repeat. Or sorry, tick and pawn production here to give him some vision. Adds on another Cortex bot lab here for more grunts, so wants to support these Sheltons and this rattlesnake with these cheap T1 units. It looks like AFF shared him some hounds just to continue holding off this push here from the red and yellow player. So back into unit production, adding on a third fusion after the AGO. What is that? 12 construction turrets here, tucked away in the main base. And this rattlesnake is just going to let him kind of hold his front for a few more moments while he continues to pretty much eco. So the third fusion reactor finishes, we add on the advanced bot lab once again. What do we move into here? Is it Twitchers or the Mammoths? Rattlesnake doing work here, up to 3 kills, but we're like really shooing away this army for now, freeing up that space. Yeah, he adds on 2 cons. 16, 15. Okay, so he just made that T2 lab to make 2 more core cons. He starts his anti-nuke at 1620, and then the counter intrusion system, adding on more build power. So was that 8, 5, 14? 14 con turrets, and starting his AFUs. 1630. So starts these three at the same time, and then he'll start, assisting just this AFU straight away. And goes for a 2-2 lab at the front. Okay. Not supported by too much build power. He's got 4 con turrets here, but just a lot of con turrets in general. What is this? 4 here. He's been moving them around. Let's see, I see 8 right there, and then another like 17, 18. So really spreading out that build power. And gets these, I think he goes into mammoths at some point. Not sure if he does it straight away, but it's like he's even lifting some con turrets he had down here to upgrade these mexes. To restart this T2 mex. Okay. So he's resing that and then would probably heal it back up at some point. So starts the AFU with this T2 con and then moves over to the right side of his base. Looks like he reclaimed that T2 con. I'm not sure exactly why he did that. And adding on more energy converters. So just noticing like the energy surplus, like full E bar. Adding on some of these advanced energy converters. Moves into, what is this? 5 arbiters. 5 arbiters, another radar bot, a radar jammer bot, and then 10 mammoths, right? So wants to get these long range units up first and then protect them with the mammoths. Start getting the value from those long range aggravators. Still pumping ticks and resbots from the 2 arm bot labs up on the hill. AFUS is like 50% done. Still adding on con turrets. That's hard to count. What is that? 10, 20, something like that. 21. Going up to, what is that? The 7th advanced energy converter. So we've made a few regular like T1 energy converters. But yeah, here's the front. It's just a rattlesnake into aggravators. Another nemesis, right? I'm just calling out all the things I'm seeing here because it was so cool. Like just this succession, like all throughout the game, he was just doing cool, interesting things. Spybot step forward, and it's going to give him vision for his army there. AFUS finally finishes. When did we start at? 1630? Finishes around like 1840. Finish reclaiming the last of the advanced solar collectors. Calling out his opponent's nice, or teammate's nice eco. Already has 3 AFUS up there in the bottom right eco spot. And yeah, adding on even more advanced energy converters here. Reclaiming these T1 energy converters, I suppose that just lets him feel a little more protected here. Really strong push from teammates, but first Mammoth gets out. It's nice having your opponent building a Starlight right here on the high ground. And yeah, starting the second AFUS. So, what else does he... I'm trying to think back. Starting to build up the mammoths. Oh yeah, it's right. T3 units he'll start making at some point, but just working on the next AFUS. He's got the economy. He's got metal in the bank, right? He's going to finish this, add on 4 more advanced energy converters. Still making mammoths at the front. We have got this Juno up. A couple of Twitchers out. Adding on construction turrets. Yep. It's like we're migrating some of these con turrets even to next to this forward T2 lab, right? So, and he's adding those on with another another construction aircraft here. Take a sip of coffee. So, if y'all like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know who you would like to take a look at. I'll download their videos. We'll examine the replays together. You notice anything cool in some of these team games? Definitely enjoy learning the format. I think team games are obviously a fun matchup. 5v5 tournament really showed me that, so been enjoying the team game formats for sure. And if you're interested in 1v1s, they have the upcoming Alpha Cup April 20th, so I should be participating in that. And you can come out, show up, show your support. And if you want to donate to the prize pool, feel free to, is that Barcast TV PayPal? You can forward all those donations to Jazz Cash for you. So I think I might throw in 20 bucks myself. If you're feeling generous and want to support that tournament, let me know. I'll link that PayPal in the description along with the replay link. So continuing to add on basically AFUs, conturts, and advanced energy converters for now. Really trying to scale up that eco. Even reclaimed the T2 lab at the front after these 4 mammoths here. I'm not sure if that was necessary or why, but he feels content for the moment, perhaps. Pretty cool to see this rattlesnake and a couple of pop-up turrets. Maybe it got destroyed. There's a tactical missile launcher here. Those are Juno missiles. Third AFUS finishes 22-15. Adding on another pack of construction turrets down here. More advanced solar collectors, still spitting out Pawns and Lazarus out of these two out of these 2 labs. You know, backing up the mammoths. Never really overcommitting. Maybe that's what I was trying to touch on earlier. He never was like committing to attack or kill the opponent. He just wants to have enough units, essentially what I saw, to kind of get to the next phase of the game. Maybe a lesser player would have kind of crumbled in that early T1 stage, but more about the transition here. So what's the next phase of this here? Adding on more con turrets. A hardened metal storage, pop-up scorpions, right? You even got a tactical missile launcher here? What is the range on that? I hardly ever see these things used. T2 anti-air tower, the long-range screamer. Another bot lab here. More and more con turrets, kind of separated from this initial pack that's like adding on the eco, right, of course. This was nice. His opponent gave him like, or sorry, I keep saying opponent, teammate gave him like 5 of these vanguards, something like that. So I think he just ends up keeping them on the hill here next to the Starlight. Yeah, look at that mammoth in the front. AFK units building up, moving to the front line here, and yeah, there we are. So the T2 Air Lab comes up 24 minutes up, 24 minutes into the game. Gets out 2 cons, so you see this a lot. Just starts the 2 cons and then reclaims the structure here. Just queuing up all the AFUs here for a moment. Bunch more energy converters, so, you know, classic 8v8 player. AFK Chisato, right? Pretty cool unit composition, right? Just a mammoth with the vanguards in the back. And here we are, 24 minutes into the game. We start this forward T3 bot lab, or T3 experimental gantry, and just goes into like demons on repeat, right? With a bunch of construction turrets surrounding it. What is that, like 20 construction turrets? Finally starts making that on like plus 300 income. What is that? Yeah, plus 300 metal income a second. And he's like still scaling, even like reclaiming these fusion reactors, right? I mean, there's just got a little bit of build power going towards that. And look at that, two core labs. You know, which unit's the best? Well, why not get both, right? So 2 arm bot labs, 2 core bot labs. I mean, this is pretty solid APA play. He's teched up really well. He's got a huge economy. It's got great units. A little bit of spam going for the vision, of course. You need that, and just scaling. I mean, what is that? Like a dozen AFUs in the back line. Just as many advanced energy converters. So pretty cool. Even adding on more build power, right? He's just trying to spend that metal. First demons out, still cleaning up, doing work. His opponent does a really great job, actually. Damus was playing really strong this game. Oh my god, that T2, as soon as I say that, the T2 long range air just takes him out. That was pretty funny. But what I was going to say is these catapults. I really have been enjoying using these catapults. Great little unit. Easy to micro, and then has a lot of good range. So something you pay for in RTSs. They're kind of paperweights and they're expensive, but they do work. I think they outrange Vanguards even. What is the range on the Vanguard? 1325 to 1350. Yes, a 25 range difference at 2-3. Definitely makes a difference for sure. You're just gonna sit back and even overshoot a little bit. So they do a shit ton of damage. I mean, that's like maybe why they're so strong. Long range, good damage, but paperweights, right? So a lot of projectiles. My computer's dying. 14 frames a second. Sorry about that, but I think that's about it. I mean, we've seen most everything. He ends up going back into the T2 Air Lab just to make his own fighter screen, of course. You know, just completely carrying. It's got great production here on the high ground. What was that? 5 bot labs. T3 or the experimental gantry going, right? Really heavily assisted. 2 anti-nukes, one on the low ground, one on the high ground. Getting these pinpointers up. For those of you who don't know, those are advanced targeting. Help your units attack better. I think you only need 2 or 3 of those. And they like stack. They stack, of course. So I guess it's just 2 you need if he's only building 2. But it gets rid of that radar wobble your units shoot at. So does he have a T2 radar anywhere? I don't see that. I hardly ever see players make those. Yeah, and these catapults are getting really close to the gantry here. Starlight finally can start shooting. Desperately trying to hold off at the attack, but pretty comfortable here too. People commenting on Chisato's placement here. And getting a gantry in the back, I think he was sensing that this one's going to get destroyed, yeah, so it ends up getting destroyed, but build power in the back. We just move into Razorback production. Going so far as to sacking his own commander here, so yeah, degunning a couple of the mammoths here. It's going to get taken out by the catapults. Stacking over here on the left side, that took a lot of damage. Vanguard's getting their shots off. There's a couple Shivas in there, I didn't quite notice that. No, the front crumbles, but he's got plenty of build power, plenty of eco in the back. Not really a big deal. Even went so far as to turn this into a, I didn't notice it, but a safe geothermal, so sorry for that. Missed exactly when that happened, but yeah, here we go. 2 air factory production off of, what is that, like 20 construction turrets, even on adding on more, so just wild to see how many construction turrets this guy's making. Yeah, losing the flak is not good. Maybe that's what triggered him to really make the anti-air. Just casual 8 APHIS up here, 30 minutes into the game. Reclaiming this gantry, maybe he'll remake one at the front. Since he kind of held off the pressure for a moment. Yeah, we see these 2 twitchers in the back trying to finish adding on construction turrets. "15 frames a second." That's really why I don't play too many big team games, right? Computers can't handle it at the moment. But here we go. Yeah, adding on, what is this, EMP bombers. Guy's got these pocket stilettos, so nothing can really ever break through. Then moves into fighter production. More metal storage. So just a lot of stuff here. Hopefully you guys like this kind of replay. I don't want to leave too much of this going on. He just ends up overwhelming at some point, but I'll just zoom out and let this finish. Hopefully y'all enjoy the content. If you do, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next replay. Cheers.